question is the time of trouble the same as the tribulation? Matthew 24, and we're going to verse 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. This is Matthew 24. I'm going to write it here. Matthew 24, verse 20 to 22. Okay? This verse right here, talking about this tribulation, is not this. And there's a big reason why. Some might recognize these dates, 538, 1798. There was 1,260 years that the papacy was the world dominating power. World power. 1,260 years. And their rule went to 1798, specifically February 15, which is actually a very, very fascinating date for many reasons, but we won't get into that today. So papacy rule. And this is the tribulation that is talked about there. And like I said, I can't get into all the details right now, but it says it's going to be shortened. Is that the case? Well, it just so happens that it is the case. So in 1798, that's when papal rule ended. But when did the persecution end? It actually ended in 1755. Exactly as the prophecy said it would. And this is very important because we have in verse 29, Matthew 24, verse 20 to 22, and then verse 29, it says here in verse 29, immediately after the tribulation of those days. So after the tribulation of those days, well, after the tribulation in our days, Jesus is coming. Of those days shall the sun be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So immediately after this, when persecution ends and this is shortened, we should see one of the events. Amazing enough, what happened on this day? The Lisbon earthquake. Exactly like Matthew 24, verse 29 says. And this catapulted all the events, these signs of Jesus coming. Then we had other events. We had the falling of the stars. That was in 1833, etc. I mean, we could list lots of things. So these, just at a brief glance here, are not the exact same time. There is connections, though. which we will have to talk about in another study, but I hope this clarifies to you. If you just keep reading to verse 29, it clarifies that it's the signs of the second coming happen after the tribulations of those days.